Welcome to Next Week Now, the program where it's next week's new way of knowing the new news before even the news knows what's new now. I'm Mr. Chang, no middle name. Today on our program, we have 4 stories about next week's news now. Act 1, make America feel the burn again. So in 2016, we all remember everyone's favorite cool old man, Bernie Sanders, and how he went against all odds to lose the Democratic nomination to Hillary Clinton. Well now, Bernie's back, and he's pissed. He'll be running for president again in 2020. Again. I'm starting to think that Bernie Sanders runs for president the same way people his age run in shopping malls. But this time, he's got an extra point for his platform. Right next to free healthcare and free college, there's an added talking point about, and this is true, putting taxpayer money into building a power-charged mega time machine. So now, it's time to dust off an old Next Week Now segment. Here's how Bernie could still win the 2016 election. It all hinges on winning the 2020 presidential election. After which, Bernie will build the power-charged mega time machine with his tax money, which will appropriately be named Doc Byrne's Socialist Time Tunnel. And by using this machine, Bernie will travel back to 2016 to win the presidential election. But this brings up a question. With 2 Bernies running around in 2016, how will the socialist senior citizen silently sneak around himself so as to avoid a schism in the space-time continuum? It's simple. He won't. It's all part of Bernie's ultimate plan. Upon returning to 2016, 2020 Bernie will seek out his younger, sexier self, and the two will perform a Dragon Ball fusion. Or as Bernie will call it, a great big anti-Wall Street Dragon Ball fusion against Russian collusion. The power of this fusion can't be underestimated. A wave of big Bernie energy will sweep the country. Bernie bros everywhere will cream their fedoras. Ben Shapiro will cry into his pillow while clutching a copy of Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations. The power Bernie Sanders will summon by fusion will form a Super Bernie Sanders. At 600 feet tall, Super Sanders will crush the capitalist systems of the United States as the winner of the 2016 presidential election, making America feel the burn again. Act 2, LGDT. The DT stands for Donald Trump. And in other news, a U.S. ambassador to Germany announced his plan to position the U.S., specifically the Trump administration, as a prominent member in a group effort to decriminalize homosexuality across the globe. The move towards decriminalization seeks to eventually pool together the efforts of the EU, NATO, the Vatican, and other organizations. The effort comes in the wake of an anti-gay hate crime that recently took place in Iran and has been viewed as a method to get other countries to coalesce and put pressure on Iran using their human rights violating anti-gay laws as a leading point. And overall, it signifies the Trump administration as the leading force in this effort for gay rights. That's right, the Trump administration has had a questionable stance on gay rights in the past, however. But regardless of that, we here at Next Week Now predict that Trump, having a taste for the dramatic and the idiotic, would take this effort for international decriminalization and make a radical decision on American soil. Yes, that's right. It's all an effort to show how pro-homosexual Trump is. He would issue an executive order banning all heterosexuality, effective immediately in the United States. Many critics and journalists would see this as the wrong course of action, asking why the trans-military ban, as well as other policies affecting gay people in regards to work, adoption, and other forms of discrimination were not reformed instead. To which Trump responded, no, ban straights. So, they banned the straights. Breaking this rule would be punishable by jail time. Straight marriage, banned. Trump would even jail Melania Trump for being his wife. And even all of his children, just for being products of a straight relationship. Except Ivanka. He'd keep Ivanka for reasons. Congress wouldn't even have time to question the legality of this rule. Straight politicians, super banned. The remaining gay members would mean that Congress would be run by 10 people. To which Trump said, that's an even number. You should be fine. Obviously, everyone else in the nation would be puzzled, wondering, is Trump a gay icon? I mean, imagine it. You're at one of the largest pride parades in the country, and on the biggest, gayest float is Donald Trump himself. It's like a Twilight Zone episode on crack. Or, is Trump a heterophobe? Why can't he accept the idea of a man and a woman loving each other? And obviously, no one would care, as all 300 million Americans would just move to Canada, just like white liberals said they would, but never did when he got elected. The biggest reaction would come from Trump's own VP, secret Bond villain Mike Pence, who's so homophobic, He probably has Leviticus tattooed on his chest. The bromance that he and Trump share would be broken instantly as Pence would defect from the administration. Trump would coldly say, "It's treason then." And after an epic fight, declare Pence an enemy of the state. And do you know what happens when two old white men with different ideals clash? That's right. It's rewind time. Another civil war would commence. Only this time, it'd be over states' rights instead of states' rights. Trump, wearing a rainbow-colored MAGA hat, would charge into battle, brandishing a rainbow-colored AR-15 while riding his trusty gay stallion, 2000's has-been, Perez Hilton. And at the end of it all, Pence would be defeated and sent to hell, and we'd be saying hello to our new vice president, RuPaul. Meanwhile, the rest of the world would criticize Trump for his actions, with the United Nations reportedly saying we should have killed him when we had the chance. With that, they'd make a weirdly, overly enthusiastic decision to bomb the hell out of the United States so bad, even Hiroshima would say, "Chill out." And after a few decades, people will re-emigrate to the ruins of the United States and start a new democracy under one ruler, a somehow still alive Bernie Sanders. And now we have a brief interlude, Act 2.5, Moksh Chiktara solves the debt crisis.